Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. My name is Wellta Boualaphanh. I'm a fashion designer here in Miami. I moved here recently from New York City. I was born in Rochester, New York. My family called me Tao or Tutu. They called me Tao because this thought of my great-grandmother's soul being reborn. So I was given that name, hence having like an old soul. The name kind of stuck with me. My family's pretty big. Well, I definitely have a lot of aunts and uncles, and my mom's side is a little bit smaller, but everyone's sort of scattered and spread out throughout the United States. I have two sisters. I'm the middle child. So I went to FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology. I graduated with my BFA in fashion design, children's wear, but I pretty much did everything, like from women's wear to children's wear. It runs in our blood. My great-grandfather back in Laos did a lot of tailoring. I pretty much got started at a very young age. So I was 10 years old. What stopped me in my tracks was my grandmother, who used to sew all the time. She would make traditional sin, and I hid in the closet and kind of watched her a few times just to see what she was really doing, and I saw that she was like fitting. It really sparked my interest, and I think that's where I started hand sewing and really getting into designing and making my own stuff. I guess, you know, fashion chose me. I think she didn't even really know that I was really interested in this type of work. A lot of it had to do with, you know, my mom buying fabrics or bringing fabrics back home from Laos, and I was always sort of interested as to know how it was made, or just really appreciating quality. I wanted to move to New York City. My ticket to get there was through my art. I had a lot of teachers who were very helpful. It was in high school that I would skip lunches just to go and do my portfolio, and he would help me with my artwork. My sculpture teacher, Miss Gabriel, really helped me out a lot as well. She gave me my very first sewing machine. She offered to sell her sewing machine to me for $50 at the time. So I said, yeah, I would love to take it. But I mean, I didn't have the money at the time. So I think she felt bad and she just gave it to me. So I still have that machine that works till this day. Probably have to send her that check soon. So I started my own fundraiser on GoFundMe and also on Facebook. I pledged to make 500 masks and send it out throughout the nation to people in need. I was able to get the help of our community, get the supplies and resources that I needed. It took me 2.5 months only because I ordered all the materials and the fabrics from Korea. But in the meantime, I was making masks out of materials that I had already on hand and at home. I'm still making masks. I get a lot of requests to work on commission masks, whether it's to put on a company logo, put like a picture of their dog, or if there's something like sentimental, even if it's a simple initial just to personalize it. I also make aprons, my apron project, which, you know, ties in not just with masks, but with everything and anything that I do, to be able to really like expose myself to the community and underserved communities, hopefully inspire and spark, you know, other next leaders to do what they love. Fashion is not always glamorous. You really have to have that drive and that motivation to really get yourself to do all this stuff, you know. And, you know, I hope to build a sustainable brand where there's less waste, it's slower fashion, but it's all about quality versus quantity. Thank you for your time. I appreciate the opportunity. Check out my website, www.weltaboualaphanh.com, or you can find me on all socials at Wellta. Shout outs to my family. I miss them very much. Thank you for your time.